Happy Monday, everybody. I hope that you are having a pleasant day and had a good weekend. I can't stress this enough how this past um this past 2 weeks, especially actually last week, I have really felt a lot of my shadow nature, come out, and I felt really disconnected from spirit and just really disconnected from who I was and who I am. I'm at this place where I'm figuring out what I want to do with my life, and the stuff that isn't fitting into who I am right now is really just falling away very naturally. And to say that I'm nervous is a bit of an understatement. I don't know what's going to come, but I got a bit burnt this week as well, in a sense, with my twin. Just he came back and then I jumped at the opportunity, and I think I scared him off a bit. But at the same time, I'm at this place where I'm feeling like I've got nothing to lose in life, and my anxiety about the situation is still there, but it's more so, it's not here anymore, it's more in my crown chakra. And I truly feel like we need to do some meditations, even just grounding. I went for a run this morning, that's why I look like this. And I'm really trying to just reconnect with my flow, my alignment. And Archangel Michael is with us today. I can feel his presence big time, and he really is trying to guide us towards the path of least resistance. And he's not hard on us, he understands that we have been through a really tough journey. And justice, I read something, it was something about please ignore the red on my hand as well. I was stuffing around with my roommate yesterday and we were drawing on ourselves, because that was where we were at, good times. No, so I've really been, trying to numb out a lot of the feelings that I've been feeling towards him. I mean, not towards my twin, towards this journey. I've been trying to numb a lot of it and numb the stress that I actually am feeling. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's probably a bad thing. But it's interesting because I wanted to share this with everyone, and I'm sorry if my energy is low. I'm quite out of it. I have been out of it for the past week, so please just let me be. My twin came back into my life when I was balanced with my shadow aspect and with my light aspect, and I suppose that's who I am. I'm not one or the other. I'm an integrated being, and I think it's about me learning to accept what I really enjoy doing and how I like to live my life, and not jump from one extreme to the next, and truly find that balance. And I'm really trying to seek that balance in my day-to-day life, and I think that that's why Archangel Michael is stepping into my life now very strongly, because he knows that I need help to do that. And I'm still not entirely sure about what my shadow aspects are completely, and I think that that's something we need to do this week, is we need to journal and we need to write, and we also need to maybe get to know our twins a bit better, and kind of look at their behavior and see what is happening and where they're at, and start getting clever about the moves that we make in this journey and not taking it lightly anymore. I feel like the divine masculines are a lot more calculated than the divine feminines, and by calculated I mean not necessarily in a bad way. Maybe sometimes I think that can be in anyone's shadow, but they're just a lot more logical and clever about when they message us, why they message us. I don't think that they just do things necessarily, well, especially the masculine collective that we're dealing with. They don't just do things sporadically. It's thought-based, it's from their intuition, and it's something that I suppose we could really learn from them. So yeah, I'm having to deal with a lot of reality that my masculine's actually incredibly intelligent, incredibly switched on, incredibly in tune with me, and can see through my bullshit. Because I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I am full of shit a lot of the time, and I think that comes from living in a family where I couldn't express my truth, and I couldn't just be, and I couldn't say I'm struggling. It's not in me to like even admit that I'm struggling, or be honest with myself. I hate hearing what I don't want to hear. So like there's all of these triggers that are going on with me, and I'm feeling quite vulnerable and insecure, you know, about what I have to offer and who I am. And someone asked me the other night, and they were like, why do you need a man? Like, what is your purpose for having him? And he wasn't asking in a nasty way. This was actually a guy who was asking me out. And it was the first time in a long time that I'd been like stopped in my tracks with the question, and I was like, I don't actually know. And then this last week, I realized like how I try and, not even try, but just where I'm at is I'm so busy all the time. I'm very busy socially. I'm busy with my spirituality and like my twin stuff and like connecting on the 5D, and it's almost like I actually don't have space in my life for my divine masculine. And he made a comment one time about like me being too busy for him, and it's like funny because like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, actually basically all of it that I'm doing, is to get to a place of unity within, therefore with him. And I don't know like how to do it right sometimes, you know, like I don't know how to get this right, and I don't have any experience to base this off. Like I've never been in a proper relationship before, like I mean a proper one where it's like, yeah, I've never been in a proper relationship, and I don't even think Yaku like really understand. I just said his name, whoops, whatever. I don't think that my twin really understands. I don't know if I should put this video up now with his name, but it actually doesn't matter. I don't know if he understands that, and I also haven't told him. So I can't expect him to understand then, can I? It's like I'm trying to be someone I'm not with him, because that's what I think he needs, and I'm in this process now of really, really becoming who I am. So I suppose this is like a cool stage to be at, because now like I can show him what he sees in me, you know, because it's like us, we see our masculine in his entirety, but that's sometimes not who he is right now, you know. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's like a melancholy and like low, but there must be other people feeling like this. And I think the motivation and words for the week are just connect with Archangel Michael and integrate your shadow and light. And as much as though your shadows are going to be illuminated, like it's important, I think, this week to journal about the light aspects of yourself, but also learn to love your shadow. Like it's part of you. You have to love your whole self. I need to sit up straight. Breathe in truth and prepare for Mercury retrograde, because this is going to be like a great opportunity to purge some darker energies. Let's connect with the masculine's energy. I want to know how they're perceiving us. Spirit, can I please have a clear guided message, a beautiful message of entirety and truth with regards to how our masculine is feeling towards us. So immediately we got the Queen of Spades, which for me is indicating that he's looking at us with a little bit of regret. Because he sees the chance in this relationship for deeper love. I think what's happening is the masculine is like seeing the depth of this connection subconsciously, because this group of masculines, it's more subconscious, which is fine. It's still there, but what he is starting to see is he's starting to see you in your entirety now, and he has almost regrets for how he's dealt with things, and he's having maybe regret with the fact that he didn't realize that this was a higher love. I'm getting that song by Kygo and Whitney Houston, that higher love song. Like, he's seeing the depth of this love, and he's seeing you in your entirety now, and it's almost like he wishes he could have like been a bit more like aware of where you were at, because I think what's happening is both of you are starting to to realize like who each other are as people. It's like, I'm gonna get more clarity. So this definitely has to do with communication, this regret. I think he's looking back and he's seeing all the opportunities that have been missed to make this happen, and he's almost wondering if it's worth pursuing anymore, in the sense that it's like he's wondering, can we start over? Is this communication a problem? I think he's realizing that both of you also communicate very differently. And it's weird though, because as much as there's all this mental conflict going on, and maybe conflict with communication, there's this soul, in a soul level that he's reaching, where this deeper love is coming to the surface. So it's almost like it's coming from a subconscious place to a conscious place. That's the process that's going on right now. And it's almost like he's coming conscious and you're becoming subconscious. It's a very weird mirroring that's going on. And I think the reason that you're having to connect subconsciously now is because you're needing to let your spirit flow more. It's now getting to the point where like you're going to be able to just start flowing with your motion, and your masculine's always going to be leading your flow. So there's a beautiful, beautiful like awakening that's happening within this connection right now, because of the masculine gaining clarity on the depth of this love, and you gaining clarity on the subconscious depths of this love. Because I think you've been way more 3D conscious, whereas he's been way more subconscious. So in a sense, he actually understands the depth of this love a bit more than you, whereas you are more aware of it. Interesting. That was a big message for someone out there. Well, definitely for me. So if someone out there is meant to hear it. So I'm seeing this masculine is kind of in a little bit of heartbreak energy, but he's looking back on the heartbreak, but he's almost not looking forwards to how like brand new this love is actually becoming. I think that spirit is a bit is laughing a bit, because we don't realize how we're unaware of how much balancing is actually going on in this connection, and how much progress is being made right now. So this masculine, because he's coming into like a conscious area, I think this is because he's connecting with his heart, and he's looking back on what he could have had with you, and he's looking back on like all the tension over the past, and he's just over it in a way. Like his soul is craving you. So he's in this process of like being a bit over it, looking back. Look at my energy. I'm not even like, this could also be my energy. Remember, you're mirroring each other. So it's almost like this numbness about the past. And spirit is saying like, this isn't going to last long. There's brand new energy that's coming into this connection, and it's going to like literally make him turn his head, and it's going to make you turn your head, and it's going to be like this back together. But right now it's important that you both study each other, the past therefore, and see how you can do things differently going forward, because this is a connection that you have to work for. This collective, it's a connection that you have to work for. There's a lot of twin flame relationships that are amazing and beautiful and soulmate, and this is the exact same. But the collective that I connect with, we are very powerful. We are dark, powerful beings, and the more powerful your shadow, the more powerful your light. So the collective that I connect with, we do have a very dark streak. It's shadowy. But the beauty of this journey is that we've learned to control it, but now we have to face it. We've learned how to control our shadow. We've learned what we're comfortable with. We've played around with it, but now we have to face it. And that's what's happening now, is you're masculine, you are facing who you are. And you can't do that together. And the collective I'm connecting with is right now, the energy we're in, is we're okay with that, and we actually agree with that. Spirit is really, really saying we've got this. We have got this. And if you're feeling stuck and like you're not progressing, do one thing that is in alignment with your goals, and spirit will do the rest. I want to become a netball player for my country, so I went for a run this morning. It's simple, but it's in the right direction. This masculine is also wanting a new beginning. So it's interesting, he's looking back on the past, but while also looking at the front for a new beginning. So it's actually a beautiful energy he's in. He's accepting and learning, but he's also planting. And it's because he's picking up on this absorbent new energy that's coming in. So this for me is, he's not necessarily taking action yet, but he's in the process of looking forwards, and it's a serious energy, but it's not like he's almost mirroring you in a sense, you know. And this is just like a cute little thing, is like, you mustn't ever believe that he is unaware of the pain he's caused you. He knows what he's caused you. He knows, because you know as well. So it's really, I've literally got truth bumps. Like, you both are very aware of like the pain you've caused each other, and like that in itself is enough. Like, it's like you both are feeling numb to each other right now because you guys are facing all of the pain from this process, and he feels this loss, but at the same time he feels the truth, and he's also looking at you in a way of like, you are not focused on him. He really believes that you're not focused on him. Like, you've shown him your focus, but he doesn't buy it. Like, it's weird. Like, it's because this whole time he's been in that victim mode of, she doesn't care, she's too busy for me, blah blah blah. Just like you've been in the space of, he doesn't care, he's got other people in his life that are way more important. So you're both like purging those like feelings towards each other, because it's bullshit. Like, those are like that, those kind of energies need to leave now. So that's why you're going through this process of facing your shadow. All those times you did stuff to make him jealous, you're going to purge that energy out. You're going to have to feel how he felt so you can help him transmute it. Like, vice versa. Like, every time he did something he knew was shady or just not in alignment, he's feeling those repercussions, and he is looking towards you for a new aligned beginning. I'm not feeling this card. Yeah, so then we've got the King of Pentacles, King of Diamonds here. So you're very much mirroring each other. You're not so much in your heart space, so he's much more in his heart space. You're really, really focused on like just getting your space okay, like your mental health, just like getting yourself surrounded by good people. And you've got other shit going on, and he's kind of holding this heart space. He's holding space for you in his heart right now. It's very beautiful energy, actually. So he is in this King of Pentacles energy of, you know, rising up, communicating with himself. I'm getting a lot of this is that he's starting to be honest with himself about this connection, about his life, about who he is. And he's understanding that he's going to need patience with you and patience with this process, and he doesn't actually mind, because he knows ultimately it's going to bring you both to this heart space energy. So he's almost taking the reins a bit now. There's more male energy on this, but there's also, it's balancing, but it's like he's taking up the role of manager. For some reason I got that. He's the manager of this connection and this current moment. And I'm getting that the Empress, the Divine Feminine, is really okay with it. Like, you need a break from feeling all of this, and you almost just need to come back to a bit more of your rational brain just for this week, I think, of just truly understanding the process you've just been through. Because you're learning to sing your song, you're learning to be who you are, you're learning to go to the beat of your own drum, you're learning how to play the drums. That's the message I've got in that metaphor. You're learning to play your set of drums. Like, because in order for you to bring in this connection into your life, you've got to be so running to the beat of your, dancing to the beat of your drum. These are the last 2 cards I'm going to pull, because you're now at this place where like you're in this place of hiding from the past but wanting to emerge, and that's what's balancing out. There's a huge balancing act going on, like of just not being nostalgic anymore but creating more, not dreaming but being. And in order to do that, you have to go through this tunnel towards yourself, but it's uncomfortable. And this group of feminines, we're in a very tight tunnel right now, and it's really positive, but you've got to have faith and spirit during this process. Like, it's going to be a bit of a squeeze and a bit of a confusing time, but this masculine is with you. He's on this journey with you, and it's time to start looking at it as teamwork and not just individual work. Because this group of feminines, we are a bit of lone wolves. We like, we don't need anyone, we've been hurt, we don't need to rely on anyone, you know, kind of thing. And I just want to tell you that I'm with you on it. I've been there, I am there. But we've got to let go of the past, and we've got to just be ourselves unapologetically. And if you're struggling with addiction, mental health, like, you're not alone. I'm with you, I'm here. And it's about integrating the things you enjoy doing with the things that you enjoy doing but you don't do because other things take over your life. There's no right or wrong way to live on this planet. There isn't. But your soul calls you towards certain things, you know, and when you're not doing yourself justice, you're out of alignment. So spirit is truly, truly going to help you find your comfortable space of alignment. Not that overly giving, overly working, and not that under giving, underworking. The balance, so that you can maintain the stability without like overdoing it. Because the collective, I'm connecting with the feminines, we overdo it. So yeah, just know that like this is a collective for you, you know, like I just sometimes feel like I can't get this right, and it's not true. We're trying, and that's all that matters. So I'm going to leave you with this, and I hope that I could purge some of the numbness out. I'm actually feeling a bit more like centered, so maybe this energy is also what needs to get out of your system. And yeah, like, let's just have a good week of connecting with spirit and not being hard on ourselves and just doing what we got to do, you know. Sending you so much love and light. I'm sorry this wasn't upbeat, but I'm not upbeat right now, so I'm not even gonna like try. I think I'm gonna post another video by the end of the day that won't be as long, to just chat again about the energies and maybe do some energy like exchange, like, you know, we can just feel the energies out, talk about life. And I'm gonna link my podcast below. It's a spiritual podcast. Talks about my spiritual awakening. It talks about like being authentic, and yeah, I'm going to try and get that up and running even more. So yeah, I also wrote a poem to my twin yesterday that maybe has also brought out like a lot of like energy. So maybe just try and communicate with your twin on the 5D in those little ways, because as much as it's like back to basics, like sometimes we need to go back to basics, you know. Anyways, that's the title of this video, Back to Basics. Anyways, lots of love and light. Have a beautiful day, and I'll chat later. Bye.